If you're a freelancer, are you actually a freelancer, or should you be classified as an employee? The IRS and state agencies are cracking down on worker misclassification, and if you're on the wrong side of the line, you could owe back taxes, penalties, and interest. I'm going to explain exactly how the IRS decides whether you're a freelancer or an employee, what the ABC test is in states like California, and what to do if you've been misclassified. First, why this matters. When you're an employee, your employer withholds taxes, pays half of your Social Security and Medicare, and provides benefits. When you're a freelancer, you pay both halves of Social Security and Medicare through self-employment tax. You don't get benefits, but you have more flexibility and more tax deductions. The problem is that some companies classify workers as contractors when they should be employees to avoid paying payroll taxes and benefits. If the IRS catches them, the penalties are massive. The IRS uses the common law test based on three main factors: behavioral control, financial control, and the nature of the relationship. Behavioral control means who controls how the work is done. If the company tells you when to work, where to work, what tools to use, and exactly how to do the job, that points toward employee status. If you set your own hours, work from wherever you want, use your own tools, and decide how to accomplish the work, that points toward contractor status. Financial control means who controls the financial aspects. Do you have the opportunity to make a profit or loss? Do you invest in your own equipment? Do you work for multiple clients? If you're working for one client exclusively, using their equipment, and getting paid a steady rate with no profit opportunity, that looks like an employee. If you work for multiple clients, invest in your own equipment, and set your own rates, that looks like a contractor. The nature of the relationship means how you and the company view it. Is there a written contract? Are there benefits? Is the relationship ongoing or project-based? If you're hired for a specific project with no benefits and a contractor agreement, that points toward contractor status. The IRS looks at all the facts and circumstances. There's no magic checklist. Now let's talk about the ABC test used in California, Massachusetts, and New Jersey. Under the ABC test, a worker is presumed to be an employee unless the company can prove all three conditions. A. The worker is free from control and direction. B. The worker performs work outside the usual course of the hiring entity's business. C. The worker is customarily engaged in an independently established trade. The B prong is the killer. If you're doing work that's part of the company's core business, you're likely an employee under the ABC test. For example, rideshare drivers for Uber would be employees under this test because driving is Uber's core business. That's why California passed Prop 22 to create a carve-out. Starting January 1, 2026, California's AB 1514 modifies some ABC test exemptions for professional services. Here's what happens if you're misclassified. The company owes back payroll taxes, including their share of Social Security and Medicare, plus interest and penalties. They could owe overtime pay, benefits, and workers' compensation. You might owe back income taxes if the company didn't withhold. The IRS could require you to pay the employee share of Social Security and Medicare, but they'll usually waive penalties if you weren't aware of the misclassification. If you think you've been misclassified, you can file Form SS-8 with the IRS to request a determination. This takes 6 months or longer and could trigger an audit of the company. There's also Form 899, which you file with your tax return. This lets you pay only the employee share of Social Security and Medicare instead of the full self-employment tax. Let me give you some real-world examples. Example 1. You're a freelance writer with multiple clients. You set your own rates. You work from home. Clients give you deadlines, but you decide how to write. This is clearly an independent contractor. Example 2. You're a software developer for one company. They require you to be in the office 9 to 5. They provide your computer and software. You're paid bi-weekly at an hourly rate. You've been there for 2 years with no end date. This looks like an employee, even if they're calling you a contractor. Example 3. You're a rideshare driver. You use the company's app and follow their rules. Under the ABC test, you'd likely be an employee, but Prop 22 created a carve-out. Here's what you need to do. First, Look at your current work arrangements. Are you working for one client exclusively? Are they controlling how you do the work? Are you using their equipment? If yes, you might be misclassified. Second, if you're hiring freelancers, classify them correctly. Don't tell them when and where to work. Don't provide all their equipment. Use written contracts. Let them work for other clients. Third, keep documentation. If you're a contractor, keep contracts, invoices, and communications showing you control how the work is done. Worker classification is getting more scrutiny every year. If you're genuinely running your own business, you're fine. But if you're working for one company, following their rules, using their equipment, and being treated like an employee, you need to address that. If this was helpful, hit subscribe for more freelancer tax strategies. Drop a comment if you think you've been misclassified. See you in the next one.